Well, Happy New Year. It's now 2026, and it's also January. Dump month. Oh, man. There's all kinds of stuff that gets dumped in January, but this time it's going to be reviews from me, as well as anniversaries. Not that I'm saying the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is terrible. Fact is, 3 of these movies were released in January. 2 of these TV episodes were aired in January. But one is, the first one I'm going to do was the final game that I beat last year, which was Metroid Prime 4, which was released on December 4th that year. 2025 is now last year. And after hearing the reception of this game and playing it myself, yeah, I'm dumping this review in January, my first review of the 2026. Okay. Well, the graphics are good, the music's good, the control is good. It's the gameplay which is really the problem. It starts off with you going to this war, helping out the Space Federation, Galactic Federation, I believe they're called. And you gotta scan the space pirates, you gotta scan the first boss, which is now going by the rule that Metroids have the ability to merge themselves into stuff. Well, they just shoot right in and come out, and then now they're just giant zits that you gotta pop. Yeah, you gotta pop those zits. And then, but the thing is, every time you target a boss, the Metroids you can't really target. You have to move the thing on your own to get to them. And then, because every time you do the lock-in, it always locks in on the boss's weak point that you have to shoot after you get rid of the Metroids. And then once you get rid of the first boss, well, you then meet Silux. I hope I said his name right. The evil galactic bounty hunter who is rivals with Samus Aran and hates the Galactic Federation. He fires and then ends up hitting this artifact that teleports both of them and others to this new world, View with Ross. And she finds out she's now the chosen one for this teleportation device so they can get back home. And then you gotta spend the game getting these 5 keys in these 5 different locations and meeting other characters, protecting them, collecting a little bit of this, collecting a little bit of that so you can progress further in the game. And you also get a motorcycle in this one. The first area is the jungle area, the traditional things for The Legend of Zelda and of many other games, including the Metroid. Always gotta have this different atmosphere for every area you go to. The wildlife creatures are the enemies, and the first boss you fight is this giant plant thing with Metroid zits on the end of its vines. It also shoots these things that can be like homing missiles that you have to walk on. And this is what I've read is the boss that you have to remember to scan not just it, you have to also scan the vines, tentacles, and the things that it shoots. Now you meet Miles here, the guy who pretty much is with you throughout the entire game. Well, not by your side, but through communication. He's the guy that everybody was hating and trashing as annoying. He's not that bad. He's okay. He does do what he needs to do, letting you know where you need to go next and what you need to do this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and all that other stuff. Yeah, so in the end, I can understand why a lot of people feel like he could have been left out, but still he is kind of useful. But yeah, I would like for them to please change his dialogue for a number of areas. Not all of them, just a number of them. Now, after you get the first key, now this level you get when you beat the first boss, you get bombs and, rolling up into the ball. Be the ball in this game. As a whole Metroid games, you gotta be the ball like they say. Like, Caddyshack II kind of predicted this. Be the ball. Be the ball. No. Well, once you get there, you go to the desert, then you go to the factory area, which is the next place. That's where you get the motorcycle. You gotta learn how to use it, of course, and you gotta do all this stuff like activating these 2 things. But whenever you activate the second one, this ball of energy with all these mechanical drones shows up, and you have to destroy these 3 energy balls around it. Now, you will get this new thing, which is psychic stuff, where when you switch into your scanning mode. This is where you can actually charge up the laser cannon and fire a beam that actually goes with you. The camera goes with it, and you direct it to where you need to hit. This actually is very useful. This is like one of the best things that came from this game, because I actually did enjoy this weapon. It does move kind of slow, but and the control is a little bit annoying. You gotta get used to it. You gotta get used to a lot of stuff. Well, with this boss, what I did was you have to use that energy thing to get rid of the 3 things, and then you can finally hit it in the center with the main one. The second main boss is another energy ball, but this time it produces all these metallic plates that are invincible at first, but whenever they start attacking you, they're vulnerable. I don't know how that works, but that's what happens. This is actually my favorite boss in the game. And, well, after you defeat it, you get the next key, and then you get to use that motorcycle, and you get to cruise in the desert, encountering these wheel-like enemies and these jet-like things, and they're like the worst enemies in the game to me, because they're really annoying. You gotta go to the fire area to get the fire weapon, and, well, you do get missiles again when you meet Miles, and, honestly, with the exception of Ice, the other weapons in this game kind of suck. The missiles really aren't that powerful. They only are useful in destroying certain areas to get so you can proceed or get other hidden items. Excuse me. The electric, the fire, their uses to get uncover the things that they need to or activate stuff. But when it comes to actual attacking enemies, they're really not that good. Ice is the only one that you really will show an interest in using during the battles because they can freeze the enemies. You can fire at them, freeze them again, fire at them. You know, the traditional. And the bombs, just breaking areas. Even the psychic bombs, which you get later on, just not really just activating stuff. They really don't have any good use in combat. Well, once you get the fire chip, every time you get a new chip, you always have to go see Miles because he actually has to install it instead of just grabbing it. You get to grab everything else but the chips. The chips, he has to install them. Kind of annoying. And the motorcycle does have an attack, and you can scan when you're on the motorcycle, thank goodness. And, well, once you get the fire thing, go to the ice area, and then you get to meet the other new guy. Oh man, he's the lone wolf guy, the sniper guy with that hurt leg at first, and then out playing with the fire, I'm guessing a harmonica, that kind of character. Yeah, the book smart, the nerd, the loner, and the other stereotypes. The fangirl, the tough guy, and the tough guy, boss guy, and a dumb robot. Those are your comrades. The ice level's my favorite area in the game. But the part where those ice wolf things, fire is what gets rid of them really quickly. But that guy who is the lone wolf, he takes his time in helping you, and this is a really annoying spot. But once you get past it, those wolf things never show up again. It was just a one-time deal, so you gotta remember to scan them. Anytime you encounter an enemy that never reappears, you have to remember to scan them, otherwise you might have to start the whole game all over or go back to a previous save point in order to be able to do that, accomplish your saving. And you have to scan all the stuff that's in the logbook in order to get the 100% completion, as well as collect everything. The traditional stuff for Metroid in the Prime series. The boss is more like this giant snow crab-like creature. You have to rely on the ball to get it to hit the walls and daze it so you can pop that Metroid zit it has on its belly. Oh goodness, you do have to activate the generator that gets the power on, but that's when the grievers wake up and start coming at you, and man, they're annoying in this. This level also has that giant area, wide open space outside where the wind's blowing, and you have to be very careful. And I do believe you get the boost ball when you beat him, which you gotta use to get back up. And once you get that, you can use it to activate stuff now, where you can just ball up, roll it, and then go back to certain areas to collect some stuff. And then, oh boy, you have to head back to the factory stage to upgrade your bike so it can now be on top of lava. And then that's when you find the 2 new characters, the fangirl and the big boss guy. You also take on Silax in the factory stage, but it's actually a robot posing as him. And when you go back later to get the electric chip, you take on another robot posing as him. But in this area, you do fight him and his board is shit, which is a pretty good boss fight. Not too great, but unfortunately you have to protect your comrades, and like I said, this gets annoying, especially when you can't heal them until they fall down. And if there's more than them, you're going to have to concentrate on one, then go to the other one and pray that they don't get kicked, because if they die, it says mission failed, and you have to start all over. The next boss is this giant serpent thing with all these Metroid zits on its belly. A lot of them this time, and you use the hover cycle over the lava to follow it around. It's just nothing more than it's swimming around. You just have to get beside it. It's really not that hard. The second stage is when it's now right in front of you, and now it's it has those Metroid zits here, and then these things open up. They're right there. This one's pretty hard. As long as once you learn its pattern, especially when you beat the ball to get out of the like thing. Also, watch out for whenever it shoots the things in the air. You can target and shoot a lot of the enemy projectiles. All of them have projectiles that they will shoot that you can destroy. I don't know if the Omega Griever, who is the next boss, has that. I can't remember. But once you defeat him, you get, what do you get when you beat him? Oh, when you do defeat him, you have to guide that that energy psychic blast into his mouth down the hatch to get that other Metroid zit that's on the inside. The heck do you get after you get him? What was it? Hold on. The grapple beam. I forgot all about that. Well, you also get the another grapple-like attack where you can walk onto these locks and then rip them right off. Yeah, so yeah, you get the, in other words, you're getting stuff that you've already gotten before in previous Metroid games or in other games, so it's really nothing new. With the exception of the motorcycle, there really isn't anything special about the items you get in this game. I'm sorry, but that they really did not put much thought into this. Or I'm aware of behind-the-scenes issues where they one team started it, but they something happened and another team had to take over, but they were forced to finish what that other team started. So that's probably the explanation for that. But still, in the end, these weapons just really are not that special. They're useful in the game, but they're not going to make you go, wow, check that out. Except for the slow-moving thing where you can motion with it. The Psychic Beam. I'm hoping I'm saying it's right. Well, once you beat that, you go to the mine, which to me is the worst level in the game, especially considering that you really can't use missiles in here, otherwise they will alert the grievers. And even though, since missiles suck in this one, except for uncovering areas, because you will have to use them, this one you get the Psychic Bomb, and you eventually will be able to charge up your all your weapons. The Omega Griever is the boss in this. Oh, this is the boss that I hate the most in this game. He's the second worst boss in the game. At first, he's not too bad, but once you get to the, when he's on the wall, be the ball, when they get out of his spit attacks, but when he's on the ground, be the ball. Be the ball. Be the ball. No. Yep, Caddyshack II predicted this. Well, keep hitting him and his weakened points, but as his body is first, but as time goes on, the shell starts protecting certain areas. Mainly his hands are what I go after. But you gotta get him, and then once you defeat him, first there's that issue where he pretends to be dead, but the battle just keeps continuing. So don't fall for it when you see the weapon available. Just stay away, and he'll eventually just get back up, and the fight will continue. Now, after that, you then have to collect the pieces of the mech. And you have to wait till the lone wolf is out camping out, where you have to find him. He gives you some stuff, and you now have to do all the backtracking now in order to make sure you get everything. And in order to get a guarantee that you'll know where to go, there are these robots in all the areas. Zap them with the electricity, scan them, and then they'll scan the whole area. They'll mark everything that you missed on the map. So that means you'll now know where everything is, so you can backtrack. But when it comes to those areas and on the desert where there's nothing there, you have to wait for the lone wolf guy to be camping there so he can give you the stuff when he finds it. Yeah, seriously, you might have to leave and come back multiple times. Now, after this, you gotta get the mech pieces. Oh, and you will have to go back to the ice area to get the spider ball, the psychic spider ball. That's when you get the robot on your side. The dumb robot, the big oof that just punches and everything and all that stuff. You have to do that before the mine. Okay. And when you have to go back to when you have to fight the Silux robot, I'm hoping to say this right now. The first time, it's more like him doing the spin attack. If you lay the bombs out, this is like the only time bombs have any use to me, is to get him to stop spinning. The second time is when you gotta use the grappling a lot, because when he charges up and shoots, he'll walk and you gotta go grapple. You can't touch the floor, because if you do, it drains you badly. I did not like that part of the boss fight. Yeah. Well, once you get all the mech pieces, and all the items and scan everything. Well, almost everything, because there's still stuff you have to scan when you go inside that giant statue where you truly start off when you come to this world before you go to the vegetation area, the jungle area. You also have to get green energy to collect for this thing in the jungle area, and this is the worst part of the game, is collecting that in the motorcycle, you're crashing into a green crystal after green crystal after green crystal, heading back, putting stuff in there, getting can get more weapon upgrades, it can get your suit upgrade, but you gotta make sure when you fill it up, you gotta fill it up again, because there's always gonna be more. Now when it comes to those shrine things that you enter, usually with the psychic, where you can like take control of it and move the thing down, which is also done in some areas, you gotta make sure you get all the crystals in there. So yeah, you literally have to constantly keep making sure you find the green energy. Now the good news is that whenever you fill that thing in the jungle area up enough, it will now mark the green energy on your map. But yeah, you gotta make sure you get it in those hidden, in those shrine areas as well, because, well, if everything's off the map, and that's obviously there. There's only one spot in the jungle area where there is green energy. So that's the first thing you're gonna get whenever you activate it. But once you get all the green energy, get all the items, get everything in the logbook except for the last two things, because there's only two things left, I believe, they're in the log. They need it for the logbook. But however, when you're getting the mech, there is a mini boss you will have to fight in the fire area. This is the only time you can scan him, so you gotta make sure you remember to scan him, and his 4 eyeballs are his weakness, and man, he can drain you badly. Be the ball when he's shooting all those fireballs. Be the ball. Be the ball. No, 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 no. Caddyshack II. Once you get everything, go to the statue. The giant mech will destroy the force field. You go inside, and then you have your final showdown with Psylocke. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. Stage 1 is the worst part of the game. This is the worst part of the worst boss fight in the game. Omega Griever is number 2. He's in this energy shield, tentacles that come out. You have to shoot them a number of times, then grapple them, pull them off, and then whenever you do that, he becomes vulnerable, and man, does his energy go down so slow! And what's worse is your comrades are all helping you, and when they're down, you gotta make sure you refill them. Now, the best way to get rid of those tentacle things on his force field is to rely on the hyper beam, well, psychic hyper beam, so that way you can direct it. It takes like 3 hits to knock each one out, but fortunately your comrades can still help you in damaging them. They don't always do a good job doing that, but they still can't hit them for you. But stage 1 is the green. Stage 2, I believe, was the red with the fire. Be the ball. Be the ball. No, 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 no. They can't basically avoid that. Don't get too close, he'll charge up and explode. But, oh man, they spit out fireballs. They spit fire beams. One will lash at you. This one, they become dragon heads. Get rid of all of them. You have to, basically, you don't have to attack. You can get rid of them, but he'll eventually turn back into the green. The green's the main one. The green is mainly about whip attacks, or just the traditional spinning around and around and around and around. And, well, that's when you gotta jump, double jump. Okay, once you defeat that, you go, he then does the ice. The ice is the second worst one, especially when they breathe in to bring you towards them. You have to shoot the ones that are breathing in to get them to stop. Sometimes the comrades will help you in a positive way, sometimes they won't. You gotta dodge the icicles. If they hit you, you gotta use the bomb to break free, or hit A rapidly. If you get bitten, you gotta hit A. When they grab you, hit A rapidly, or shoot the son of a guns. In some areas, it's really annoying, especially how slow the energy goes down whenever the bosses are finally vulnerable. After that, it's the electricity. This is the worst stage, because he electrifies the ground. When your comrades don't get out of the way in time, you'll have to heal maybe more than one of them. And what sucks is if they get hurt while he's doing this, when you're healing one, he can accidentally kill the other one, and you gotta start all over. Well, the good news is, once you beat him in this stage, you go to stage 2, and there's a checkpoint here, so you don't have to worry about fighting him again, this stage 1 again. That was a good move on Nintendo and the people who made it. Good move right there. Stage 2 is there's no locking on like you can do in everything else, except you have to direct that thing, direct that cannon on perfectly to get him This is actually the easiest stage of the boss fight. It's just more like avoiding attacks that he does. And the good news is his health will show up. You can collect it. So you just gotta shoot him, dodge, and that's it. The one thing's where he creates these bars that go like this. That's like the hardest thing to get by. You just have to position yourself real. Like what I did was I moved down and they just slid over me. Sometimes I did get hit. Once you get to stage 3, this is the it's not as hard as stage 1, but it's actually harder than let me try again. It's harder than stage 2, but it's not as hard as stage 1. And this one, you gotta beat the ball a number of times. And especially when he does that charge attack, the charge and laser attack, or the target where he comes at you with that shield in front of him. But he's actually not that hard once you memorize his pattern. But whenever he rolls into a ball, that's when you gotta remember to scan him, because that's the last thing, the lockjaw. Yeah, scan him and then scan that. And those are the last 2 things that you have to get in this in the final area. Now, he can steal your energy tanks. You literally have to get it whenever he gets you, hit that button to break free, then get your energy tank back. I usually rely on psychic bombs only for this one area, but whenever you hit him with one, I think you have to do like a charge attack with a ball to hit him again. The game will stop doing this stuff. But this is like the only hard part in this boss fight once you get everything memorized. When he teleports away and starts creating this black hole of energy, use the plasma hyper shot or whatever that thing was called and guide it to him, not the thing. Now that thing above him will try and suck up, so you gotta keep making sure you move it down. But once you beat him, you see the game's ending. They're about to go home. He comes back. The others stop him, and Samus goes back alone. The fruit that she got, or the seed that she got from that thing that you were filling up with all the green energy, she plants a tree, and the lone wolf throws her that badge, and she hangs it on there. If you get 100%, her helmet disappears. We already know what she looks like, so it's really not all that special. And then after the end credits, if you beat the game with the logbook and collect all the items, you get to unlock the backstory for the main villain, so we can finally find out what happened. To me, it would have just been a better idea just to release it as a short film on YouTube. The game really wasn't needed. And the game does make you play through it again on hard mode, because once you beat it, you unlock hard mode, and then you have to beat it again to get all the additional stuff that you unlock in hard mode. That's kind of annoying. When I first played through on normal mode, I missed 2 lousy things, and I can't remember what they were. And the logbook, so when I played through it again, this time I got everything, and I'm never playing this game again. I have spoken positive about it a lot, but in the end, this game really was not that great. It just drags a lot. There's padding like no tomorrow. The motorcycle part in the desert is really boring, especially when you're collecting green energy. Boss fights are pretty good, not all of them. And yeah, the comrades, they're not annoying, but they're just really not needed in the end. Despite the issues behind the scenes, I don't know why I said controversy, but behind the scenes stuff, this game just feels like a boring, lame cash grab. I can still understand how a lot of people can like it, but I'm unfortunately not one of those people. I just will stick with the first 3 games. The third one, to me, is the best one, and this one, it feels like the Metroids were forced into the game as zits, just so that Metroid could stay in the title. Now, if you don't agree with me, don't worry about it. I'm just giving my opinion on this game, but I am not going to recommend this. But if you want to still play it, play it. But, I got the Switch version. I didn't get the Switch 2 version, but, who knows, maybe the Switch version is an improvement. But, until I play that version, until I get a Switch 2, I guess I'll never know. Well, Happy New Year's, and I'll see you in the next video. Did I say years?